At this point, if you have any questions at all, now's a good time. We're else me kind of watching this and letting it print. If you were to steal a letter from the alphabet, which letter would make a pirate the angriest? R? What? King Hat. Yeah, you responded. Alright, congratulations. Send me a Discord message saying they want to explode fulfillment on 9/14. I'll get that processed. Do you prefer Precisizer or Orca for tool changers? I am not a fan of Precisizer. I don't like the way that it's laid out anymore. After using Orca Slicer, Orca Slicer is far more intuitive for me. It's just much better laid out. But same reason why for Onshape versus Fusion, it's just better for me. You can use either. But now that Orca Slicer is starting to support tool changers better, yeah. Like, I can imagine soon there's going to be calibrations for tool changers inside of Orca Slicer. You don't miss Super Slicer. Had some stuff in there. That was really good. Definitely had some stuff. But, yeah, Orca Slicer has pretty much everything I need. Some think it's R's, some think it's the R, others a C. It's the letter P. It would really make a pirate irate. That's good! That's good! I haven't heard that one. That's good. You'll use Cure if you need something with a raft. A raft? What the heck is a raft? Alright, how's this printing? Now, once again, I did a manual calibration, and the Prime Tower looks perfect, right? I'm looking at it. It looks pretty much spot on. I think maybe the X has to go a little bit that way, but like a very small bit. That's not something you can really identify from this type of print, you know? Where's the second one we did? Like, yeah, I can't really tell. Really can't tell. Okay, I can kind of maybe tell. Like, maybe this line is ever so slightly lower, but it's so hard. So that's why I need to use the camera to get a precise calibration. You can get close. Like right now, this is close enough to get what's probably going to be a pretty good print. But you need that camera from M Prototypes if you want to get a accurate test. Personally, use Fusion. You'd recommend to start Onshape though. Yeah, Onshape is just far more intuitive for me personally. Oh, I heard noises. It was just the filament doing filament things in the AMS. I do have a CXC. Yes, I own one. I definitely own a CXC. Yep, it's somewhere. ZBrush for organic designs, Fusion for technical designs. That's awesome. And even, can you design something in Fusion and then export it to ZBrush? Does that work? Yes, finding it is clearly the issue. It might be one of my luggages or something. I gotta search more. Or just buy another one from KB3D. That's probably the best solution. Oh man. Can you use tap with an external pin switch for auto offset calibration for each tool? Yes. There are ways of doing auto calibrations, and all of them just haven't been perfectly accurate from my testing. Not all of them, I can't say that. The one that I used the ball, and you'd kind of like probe it against each side. It looks like it was fine, like it looked like it was working, but it was just like slightly off. Wasn't perfect. It's about as accurate as doing it with this method. So to get the utmost accuracy, the only thing I've seen is using a camera. And then now there is some, I don't know too much about it, but there's some type of machine learning camera tool thing. So I think that works. But yes, I'd love for, okay, this is a open source project, right? It's a very, if you think about it, it's a very, very simple project. You take off your tool head of your 2.4, you add on that, that tool system, which you just like swap it out. You drop in a new tool, and then you add docks. That's it. Yes, you do have to wire in all of the new CAN tool heads or USB tool heads. You will want to print like a new little backpack. You'll have to upgrade your power supply if you're doing a lot of tools, which I have to look into probably sooner than later. You'll have to set up CAN bus if you don't have that already. But otherwise, it's such a simple mod that anybody with a 2.4 should be able to do this in like, a weekend, assuming you have all the parts printed. So I'm gonna be making a guide on what parts you might need, that type of thing. And I'm actually considering, I had some discussions, I might do one tool type per dock, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna have a Dragon burner, a Stealth burner, a Zol, a Yazdraf, one of the other ones, like one different tool per modular dock, because that's the point of modular dock. I think I could fit 5 tools if I do that way with this printer. Maybe 6 if I like mix a Dragon burner and a Stealth burner. I don't know for sure, but yeah, it is possible to have all these different tool types, and I'd love to show how to build each one of them, the pros and cons, my personal preferences, and then of course I'm going to use all Revos because that'll be, in my opinion, the best tool for this type of system. But I don't know, maybe it'd be worth trying out different hot ends as well. A lot of different options. The next thing I have to do with these, I should have 6 LDO orbiter filament sensors that I can wire up back into the EBB36, and then maybe do some macros based off of that. I want to do like the load macro. That would be amazing. The auto detecting load. I really want that set up on this printer. So you shove in filament in the whole like meter of Bowden tube, and then once it detects it's in the extruder, it'll grab it. That's the really good thing. It'll grab it. It doesn't have to purge right away. Just want it to grab. That would be ideal. You like Revo and your Prusa? Revo is perfectly fine. I mean, you're seeing me print reasonably fast, right? Not lightning speed, but that's just a Revo. Yes, it is an Obsidian high flow, but I'm not using high flow parameters. Bet Bamboo's working on Tool Changer. I would love it if they're working on Tool Changer. Like, I'd love it. Any tools that aren't extruders would make sense. Great question. So one of the things that's missing is automatic glue application. So I'm actually working on a design that takes, I can't decide what I want to do. So there's 2 options. One is just a glue stick. So you can take your glue stick and mount it in. The issue is the homing. I haven't really figured that out yet. But I think, I just do a manual offset. So there's a little servo that twists the glue until it hits like a limit switch or an optical switch or something like that. And then it goes down and then puts your glue only where you're printing. So using the adaptive mesh system, you put a nice layer of glue stick exactly where your adaptive mesh is. That's pretty cool. And then I was also trying to see how to do like nano, like every 10 prints, apply a fresh coating of nano and then wipe it. I don't know how all that would work because you might need like a 2-part system. Maybe a wiper on the front and then it squirts it and wipes it as it goes, stops squirting, goes, and just does a line across the whole thing. So that's a joke. I'm not doing that. That's a joke. Although, I mean, it's very possible, right? Like, you believe me, and it'd be very simple to do. Just throw a glue stick on there. I don't know. It lasts longer. Oh yeah, nano lasts like forever. Especially if you use a ton like I do. Hey, but speaking of nano, I think it's time to pull out the big guns. It's a little bit messy, gotta clean it off, but Hedgehog makes custom Ember prototype plate. I think it's finally safe enough to put it on there. So I'm just using the stock build plate because if I damage it, I damage it. But yeah, I got the Ember plate and I'm excited to print on that. I'll be bringing that with me to Rocky Mountain. No, Rocky Mountain. 3D Printopia. Yes, actually, if you squirt it, use your full palm to apply the nanopolymer. That's the exact correct application. It is not. Please don't do that. A tool with a knife. Yep, that's possible, right? I've heard about pen plotter tools, marker tools. But realistically, though, this is for 3D printing, and in my specific circumstance, I'm mainly using it for multicolor prints, right? Like this one right here. I want to be able to print a nice, cool multicolor print, not in the crazy amount of hours that it was estimating. And I want the ability to, I could have always, on the Bamboo, reduced the layer height, but because it's so much extra filament waste, I'd rather increase the layer height to reduce the time. Now that I have a tool changer, I can take that trade-off, the time savings, and then just do more layers. I'm not wasting any extra filament, it's just taking more time. Right? Alright, good night, Viking. Thanks for stopping by. Welcome in, Raincoat Disaster. How you doing? So yeah, let's see. So this is 4 hours and 39 minutes, okay? Let's half the layer height. Let's say 0.1. 439. Let's say it's 430. 4 hours and 30 minutes. If I half the layer height to 0.1, I'm at 9 hours. So double the time. Go figure, right? Yeah, Badger, go ahead. Ask me all the questions you want. That's what I'm here for. So yeah, now I can print an even more good-looking multicolor print using the same amount of material. You know, obviously wasting a little bit on the prime tower, but it's insignificant compared to a Bamboo. And I think, you know, having a tool changer, this is in between like a Prusa MMU type of setup. But loading filament should be much easier on this because you don't have to deal with buffers. You just load the filament, and then assuming you have a filament sensor, hopefully there'll be a macro that'll just automatically load and purge and do all that stuff. Little mill for the sides of a print. Yep, that absolutely can be done, right? Like some type of spindle-based tool. Absolutely. Hand wound ceramic core? Do what? Different nozzle size would be amazing. Bigger nozzle for infill, smaller nozzle for external perimeters. So for that, I'm gonna always default to maximum flow rate. Remember, increasing the width of your nozzle, like 0.4 to 0.6, doesn't actually get you a lot. It might get you some slight quality improvements, but you can print at 1mm line widths with a 0.4 nozzle, no problem. It's not the line width that's the problem. You do lose quality with that, of course, but if you're internal, it doesn't matter anyway. But you are limited by flow. So a 0.4 nozzle is more restrictive than a 1mm nozzle, and therefore you can push out more flow, assuming that you're extruder limited in the first place, versus a bigger nozzle. So it does make sense to go for a bigger nozzle, but only to increase your flow. If you have something like this, you can print with a 0.4 nozzle all day long, right? It's a tube. Hold on, autofocus, there we go. Here's my tube. This monster of a hot end has a 100-watt heater, and can do crazy amounts of flow, and even takes a standard V6 nozzle. So this is what you want to increase your time. Not a bigger nozzle, you want a better hot end. Is it a piston? Yeah, it kind of looks like it. It's all metal. It's crazy. All metal. Yeah, that would be better, like 0.25. Definitely. But then you have to worry about layer heights. You know, a 0.8 1mm nozzle can't do the same layer heights as a 0.2. Doesn't work. Nothing creating a lot of mess, true. How much ABS should you order to learn with? I'm assuming one spool won't be enough. One spool of filament, that's a lot of printing. I get a lot out of one spool of filament. So, I mean, if you're just getting started, I'd say one spool is good to get started. Now, I'm also going to ask as a second question, what are you using it for? If it's going to be outside at all, which is typically the use for ABS, besides temperature resistance, you might as well go with ASA. ASA will also give you UV resistance, and hypothetically it's easier to print because it sticks better to your bed at lower temperatures. So hypothetically ASA is going to be strongly preferred. In fact, all of my tools on this printer are done in Polymaker ASA. So ASA, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. And it prints just like ABS. In fact, it probably prints better. So I like ASA. It does cost like $5 more per spool, but if you're just getting a spool, it's negligible, in my opinion. What's the flow like on a PONS out of the box? Very low. You'd be surprised how low it is. I run PLA at 16 millimeters cubed. And then ABS probably can go a little hotter. But I max out personally at 16 millimeters cubed. But run your own test. You have Orca Slicer. Run a flow test. Bamboo hot ends are not ultra high flow. They're very average. Oh, build the heater core from scratch. Gotcha. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. You know most use PLA, but you need ABS. You're printing leather, stamps, and armor pieces. Oh, okay, all right. In that case, then I would still go for ASA. ASA is gotta be a little bit cleaner, less VOCs anyway. Better for your health. Slightly. But yeah, just a standard roll of Polymaker ABS will sort you really good. Or ASA. Thank you, Raincoat. Yeah, I'm just doing tools right now because I already have them built, and it's all more for testing, right? I want to make sure it all works. It's all easy to calibrate, all that stuff. are making leather stamps, not concerned with UV, then it's negligible. Pick your favorite color of Polymaker ABS and call it a day. You probably don't need much either. And yes, as Little John mentioned, it is strongly preferred to dry ABS and ASA, but I'm going to argue that's only really critical if you're printing structural parts. If you're not printing structural parts, you do not need to dry your ABS or ASA unless it's causing you issues. I rarely dry ABS or ASA. Whatever comes dried out of the factory generally is good enough for me. So bang Polymaker in chat, pick yourself up some Polymaker filament. Welcome in Coffee Ace, how you doing? Your printers full ABS in a weekend? Well, that's you. You do crazy things with your filaments. Even I don't print that much. More colors come in ABS, that's true. But there's also a ton of ASA colors now. Do a tool with one of these. Oh my. That is... wow. Plywood? Lovely. Wow, no bearings either. Look at that. That's just like felt. Damn. Wow. We've come far, haven't we? Pretty good. Old school. The plywood, more like Y-wood. Oh, let's see. You get dry box for storage. Good. The Polymaker ones are kind of expensive, but they work very, very good. I strongly recommend them. Done getting printed parts for your VZBot? Had issues with your Prusa Mini. You're printing VZBot parts on a Prusa Mini? That is awesome. For stamps test, do print with a lot of top and bottom layers, otherwise you can go to the infill. That's a good point. Is ABS really more hydroscopic? ABS, pretty much all filaments are hydroscopic, right? PLA is hydroscopic, but the way that I understand it is PLA is printed at such a cold temperature that it's not affected as much by the moisture that's inside of it. Does that make sense? So if you print it at like 240, 250, you might start seeing bubbles and deformities because of the filament, or sorry, the moisture inside of it. That's my understanding. I might be wrong, but that's what I've come to believe. And since I don't use PLA for structural applications, again, I don't really care, right? 2010 stuff, nice. Build tool had one of those. Yeah, sure. Nylon's hydroscopic, absolutely, yep. I gotta get more dry boxes because I have like one spool of nylon per box. You've had KVP look like Cheeto Puffs? Yeah, I don't recommend KVP ABS. Yes, you cannot forget to dry nylon. In fact, you really want to actively dry it as you print. You don't have to, but you want to get it as dry, as bone dry as possible. Like my throat. It barely fits all the functional parts. Really? So Ratrig has parts that are, I mean, it makes sense. What is their biggest size part that's critical? So functional parts. You at least want to have in a passive dry box. You need to have nylon in a passive dry box, absolutely. I'm doing a couple tests where I'm leaving some nylon out, and I'm going to print with it, and then dry it in a Polymaker box, and then reprint with it, see if it's improved. So I'm just letting it sit out for like a couple months. But Voron is really cool. They design their parts so all of the critical parts are printable on a Voron V0. So this tiny little printer right here, this printer, I gotta make some room on this desk. This printer with this tiny, tiny little bed, tiny, can print every single required Voron part. Then you print the rest when you get the printer, like the skirts, you know, that type of thing. So that's cool. Wish you kept your Ender 5. Yeah. Actually, I have a Ender 5 I need to do some stuff with. Fuchsia Mini has some silly mods that kill some build volume. Nah, that sounds about right. That's fun. It's cute, very cute. I love it. V0 changer. I don't know. Maybe I'll hook up a box turtle to it. Maybe print a maker chip on it. Maybe. One maker chip. How many maker chips we put on a V0 with a purge block? Let's see. How much Y build area do you lose with the cell changer? That's a great question. I don't know. I really don't know. So theoretically, this printer is different. So your print volume is, you can get all the print volume in the front until the Bowden tube would hit the dock. So you can print right at the front with this, and then eventually it'll taper out a little bit, right? So you can print a full bed unobstructed as if you're not running a tool changer. But when you get to the top, you know, you get angled like this. It's kind of a, you know, a build volume goes like this and then comes out like this and like that type of thing. Like a Delta. Kind of, but not nearly as bad as Delta, right? The only downside with this specific dock is that our build volume is now limited to, what, 300? 300? Less than 300? 290? 280? So because these docks are so low, it's designed for bigger tools. They're so low that it reduces the maximum height of the printer. Not that big of a deal, but if that's something that you're concerned about, like, okay, if you're planning on printing more than like 280 millimeters with a tool changer, then you might want to look into building a custom framed printer. So something like DLL PDF, you can go on and specify, okay, I want an extra 100 millimeters, 200 millimeters in the frame. And then you just get longer rails and then longer, bigger panels. That's it. That's all you have to do to increase the build height of the printer. Easy. Very, very, very easy on a V2.4. Technically, you don't need the back panel, but it's strongly recommended to have on there. Hope that answers your question. Do a V0 tool changer. I had 4 tools on a Micron. That was a 180. Micron Plus, that is. You have a spare frame Trident. Can you use any of that for Delta? I would not. I would keep a Trident frame as a Trident frame. I never recommend modding Voron frames into other things. It's not worth it. Pezlis, thank you for the large emote. And remember, Twitch is matching bit donations. So if you want to donate 300 bits, I do get I think, an extra, depending on the day, they give you a bonus. So if you want to donate bits, which is the best way to support this channel through chat, that would be strongly recommend. Yeah, I recommend it. Yeah, definitely. Hedgehog Mix recommends spending bits, and it does help. Once again, you know, it's been It's been a little tight with the studio build, going to events. I am partially sponsored, but that doesn't change the fact that I'm still running a YouTube or 3D printing channel. Incredible Wadi, thank you for the raid. Welcome on in. How you doing? Unless you remove the cable management top of tool head, you don't think you go much higher without a top hat. You absolutely need a top hat for this build. In fact, that's a printable mod you can do. It raises it like that much. Quite a bit. So welcome in. What were you streaming? What were you working on? 100 millimeters? Yeah, about 100 millimeters or so, right? It's just enough to maybe more than that. Probably like 150 millimeters. Oh, these magnets are too strong, or whatever. Thank you, CP Geek. Cheering over 300 bits gives you 10% more. Yes, look at that. 45 bits. Thank you, Twitch, for the 45 bits and the 30 bits and 15 bonus bits. Thank you. Thank you, Twitch. 220 is the average top hat size. Okay, yeah, that sounds about right. It's pretty tall. It's not short. It actually looks kind of silly when you have the whole entire top hat on. It's like super tall. Yeah, it's about like this distance here, just on the top. I did build myself a extrusion-based top hat, which is with L brackets at the time, because I had that enclosed spool holder on it, but I did not like that at all. It was a giant pain to use. I'm gonna have to just mount spools on the side. So we'll have let's see, we'll have 1, 2, 3-ish tools. Or sorry, 3 spools of filament mounted on the side here. Thank you, Raincoat, for the 300 bits as well. And we have a hype train. Awesome. If you want to participate in the hype train, you can donate bits, gift subs, use those weird things in chat where you can like make a gigantifying emote. I will have 6 tools on this once it's done. Yep, 6 tools. 3 spools fit nicely. Awesome. Mr. Wizard, thank you for 300 bits as well. Thank you, Twitch, for the bonus bits. The rep rack has been pretty good so far. It's very easy to just throw filament up. It's good storage. Plus, you can quickly just slap on a filament spool thingy, like rollers, and you can extrude from it if you need to. Pezless, thank you for the Pez Rewinkle. You go 2 on the front, 1 on the left, and 2 on the front, 1 on the left, and top right extrusions. Okay, so you'd go like 1, 2, and then 3, like stagger it. Yeah, I can see that. It doesn't really matter where you put them as long as they're mounted to the extrusion. I was actually thinking about putting like an angled extrusion on here that would add to the kind of the stiffness. It would also give you extra mounting points. That's just silly. K2 Kevin, thank you for the K2 maker chip. And Pezless, thank you for the large swatch truck. When was the last time I printed a swatch truck? It was recent. I don't need to print them anymore because I don't have to deal with Z offsets or flow that much. Just works, right? Just works. Let's see, how is this just working? Seeing some lines. I don't know if that's in the model itself. It actually might be. They're very consistent. Thank you guys for the hype train. Let's see if we can push this up to a level 2. Level 2 would be awesome. 2 is better than 1. EMT, yeah. So I have, I buy EMT tubing from Lowe's, and then I cut it to length as needed. The rep racks are super easy. It consists of 2 parts. You have the actual hanger itself, which can be laser cut out of plywood or acrylic, but this right here mounts onto a French cleat, which you can print just like that. You bolt this to the wall, You add this on, and bam, good to go. Good to go. And this holds up a lot of weight. Easily, you know, in a whole entire thing of filament. I have three holders right now, and it's holding fine. But yeah, it does, like, I can kind of lift it. It feels like it's a lot of weight. That's not that much, just a couple spools of filament. CP, thank you for the 1 bits. Let's see if we push to level 2. Remember, best way to support the channel right now is through bits. Twitch does match it. So it is literally, they're giving free money out. Free. It's free. Hey, speaking of free, if you have Amazon Prime and you haven't linked it to Twitch yet, you can get a free sub. You can sub for free using Prime. Just make sure to link your Twitch account to your Amazon account. Amazon owns Twitch. And you can get no ads for a whole month for free. Pretty awesome. All right, question as a content creator, what do you want to see 10-minute video of dealing with hot sauce? That is a great question. Number one, I want to learn more about the hot sauce. I want to learn maybe less about the production. I think that's pretty cool, but I want to know. Little John, thank you for the 100 bits. I appreciate it. I want to know what it pairs with, right? That's the biggest question. Like, I have this hot sauce, what do I do with it? The second you show and say, hey, you can use this on your quesadilla, your eggs, a thing of, you know, steak, etc., etc., etc. K2 Kevin, thank you for the 201 bits. And we're at a level 2 hype train. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Tesla's with the train, hype train that Karen Chow made. Let's get some of that in chat. Can we spam some emotes? Spam the hype train emotes? I want to see that. How to cook with Hornet Bomb. Exactly. Yep. You got to teach people how to use the sauce. Otherwise, like, I see these cool sauces, but in my head, I don't know what I'm using them with. Like, I'm just experimenting. Put on everything. Like Pueblo Red, put on everything, literally everything. Night Pete, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, it's getting kind of late, isn't it? Go for a few more minutes here, and then we'll call it a day. Thank you, Pezlas, with the big shoosh. Is it just Liz and Kevin who's going to do the big emotes? Is anyone else daring to give a big emote? I dare you. If you're listening, I dare you to gigantify your favorite emote. There you go. What's your favorite emote? Show me. I want to see it. I can't see the little ones from here. I want to see the big ones. K2 Kevin with the spinning maker chip, which I'm printing behind me. Not his. I got mine. Mine are better. Oh, Mr. Wizix with the glasses on the rocks. Looks like coffee. What is that? What is that? Like, is that rum and coke? Whiskey? Okay. Is whiskey brown? I don't drink whiskey. Thank you. That. What else you guys got for me? Gigantifying emote. I want to see what you got. It's an illusion. It's an illusion. Whiskey with Chicago cubes? Is that what those are called? Why is everything Chicago? All the cool stuff's like Chicago this, Chicago that. You also do science, chemistry stuff on how to extract capsaicin with Everclear. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah. Okay, I mean, it depends what you want to do, right? I find YouTube is weird because you can have the most crazy technical content but presented very boring and no one will watch it. But you can have the least technical, the most stupid, fun content and everyone would love it because it's presented fun. So the goal is to, my goal as well, is to kind of provide heavily technical content but kind of attempt to display it in a way that's fun. and informative. That's the whole point of this channel is, you know, I'm an engineer, but I'm also your average user, right? Like, I bring my car to the shop to get it done, you know, work done on it. I don't do everything myself. I'm more of a teacher. Right, like, I've always loved teaching things. But I don't want to be a teacher. Chicago loves putting me on stuff. Alright, let's see. I want to see some gigantified emotes. What do you guys got? Nobody? Nobody dares gigantify an emote? I dare you. Get to cheer 100 bits for a reward, too. If you haven't cheered at all, you get rewards. Remember, this is only going on for a couple more days, so it is your last chance to really do a good job supporting the channel. I mean, just being here is awesome, but bits and subs are very, very appreciated. More than you'd expect. More content soon. Awesome. Add your Pex Hornet as an emote. Oh, you'll have to be an affiliate. Thank you, K2 Kevin, for the spooky breast cancer awareness ghosts. Oh my god. Wait a minute, what is that? That's like... Isn't that... in spooky season? Isn't that like next month? I've been doing that last couple of years. That's been fun. I don't know what I'm doing this year, as I have a lot of other plans. Not live stream type of guy. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Alright, thank you guys for the hype train at 1 o'clock in the morning. Super appreciated. I get some really, I keep saying this, I always have fun things coming up, you know that. But extra fun things are coming up. I cannot wait. We're gonna start making videos. Like, we're gonna take a camera and we're gonna point it at things. And we're gonna record B-roll. We're gonna record content. I'm gonna have scripts, sort of. Self-changer content is right to blow up. Uh-huh. Why do you think I'm working on this? Remember, this is just a beta build. This is just me playing around, testing. I believe in projects, I really do, but there's just something about open source projects where I give it a grain of salt, right? Like, I expect them to be good, I really do, but if it's a new project, you know, I don't want to go all in, right? Like, for this project, I went very, very heavy in right away, and it was pretty good, right? It was good. But, you know, it's a lot to stick with the project through the whole year or so. You have to check in, like, every week to see, okay, what kind of changes were made, any updates, how will that break my config? You gotta be really involved with the project. So this is more or less a testing platform for me. Then next will be the real fun. I'm gonna get another 2.4, build it, mostly off stream probably, and then do the conversion. That'll be done all off stream, maybe showing progress on stream, but I really just want to start recording things and making good content. I love live streaming. This is fun, but there's 55 of you watching right now. You know, it's a lot of fun, but I can make a video that'll hit 10, 20,000 people instead of the couple hundred that watch these. With more work, yes, but you know, I'll be spending the same amount of time regardless. So I'm going to be transitioning more towards recorded content, edited videos. Of course, still doing live streams. I love live streaming. In fact, we might even do some, you know, once I get into the groove of things, we might do some like live sessions with recording content for YouTube. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? Behind the scenes, like how the potatoes are roasted, how the gravy is boiled, those types of streams. I can't wait for it. But I got a lot going on, especially with the studio build. It's like a quarter done, technically. Only a quarter done. And I still got to get it all completed for winter. So I'm busy, mentally and physically. Adhesion. I think the prime tower is fine. Yeah, it's fine. It looks like it because there's shadows, but we're good. Oh yeah! Wow. That's insane. Wow. Look at that. Just a shadow. And I kept seeing that too. I'm like, oh my god, is it coming up? No, it's... Yeah, I know. I thought the same thing, right? You'd be asleep while you're unclogging your printer. Yep, life of 3D printing. Issue with Twitch, people don't see past VODs, only what's currently live. Right, so this type of stream where I'm just chatting randomly, asking random questions, yes, I could put on YouTube, but I really think YouTube should be focused, you know, focused content. Like you're watching a video because you want to learn about a specific thing, not because you want to listen to some random 3D printing stuff. So for the random 3D printing things, you watch it on Twitch, and you can interact live. On YouTube, I know there's some people that would love to have VODs on YouTube. It is unfortunately a lot of work, and sometimes I don't want to put a VOD up on YouTube. It's supposed to be in the moment. It's supposed to be here. Like talking about bits and subs, I don't want that on YouTube. That's not my content, right? That's just me. YouTube, you watch a lot of bottling line cooking manufacturing videos. Some of those vids have bumping tunes. Yeah, exactly. Like that's pure entertainment. And it could be, you know, you might learn something in it, but it's kind of like how it's made. Like you kind of watch it to learn about the thing, but it's more fun to just kind of watch it. So, yeah, I like making these Twitch streams. It's fun. I'm not going to be streaming this late every stream going forward. But what was I saying? I don't know. I have fun, right? This is fun. That's what keeps me going. You had no idea that it had that much waste already for that bit of yellow. Waste. So one, it's actually green. This camera is oversaturated. I gotta fix that. Two, there really isn't a lot of waste. And I can dial it back a lot, actually. Yeah, that's nothing in terms of waste. Like this little tiny tower is like a couple of bamboo poops. Right? Nothing at all. Negligible, you almost will say. Negligible. It is a prime tower. So as you can see, maybe you can't, but the nozzle has a little bit of filament sticking out, right? A little bit of ooze. And hypothetically, if you start printing on the inside of the model, that won't be a problem. But even the littlest bit of ooze can get stuck in the print, stick to the wall, and now you have like, where's a good example? The cube I did. Like this one right here, right? So here's the Orca cube. You see this random piece of filament that I just took off? No, it's pretty good, I guess. But yeah, you see the gaps there? That's where there's a piece of filament that got stuck. Wow, yeah, the mismatched filament really killed the quality. That's crazy. This new print's looking a lot better. But yeah, it's just to absorb, and I call it starting the flow of filament. Because when you 3D print, the filament, you're going from point A to point B. And between those points, it's very quick. The filament is like kind of just suspended there. So, but you have to start it. That's what it's for. You can do bigger models without the prime tower if you start with infill. Yes, you can, but it's very, very model specific. Extremely model specific. Like for this model, I wouldn't even risk it. People race the quarter roll of bamboo AMS print. Right, so for example, let's take this exact print right here. So if I slice it and go into my preview tab, so we're looking at just this right here. We are wasting, so I'm actually wasting 26 grams. 26 grams on the prime tower, which is set to 40 millimeters cubed. I just increased it, so 40. Let's put it back down to 15. Right. And slice it, I guess. That's more realistic. Still 26 grams. Why is it 26 grams? Oh, I know why. I changed the... Here. I changed this. Alright, minimum purge on white tower, which overrides that setting. So yeah, 15 grams. There, 15 grams, which for this size model is nothing. 15 grams. That's more or less negligible, right? You waste more than that just cutting off ends of spools. It's like printing a benchy, right? It's like taking one benchy. Plus, you could actually prime into an object. So let's say I had a, hypothetically, and I need to look more into this, but hypothetically, I could take a, I don't know, a bunny right here, right? I can take this bunny and I can say, right click, flush options, flush into this object, okay? So, and now I can remove the prime tower altogether. Pull a bunny out of my hat, right? It's built into Orca Slicer. It's right click, add stand for bunny. Yeah, look at this. Now this bunny right here is the purge tower. But here's the thing. The actual model has to be higher than your last filament change. Right? It has to be higher than your last filament change. So what some people do is they'll actually just duplicate the main model they're printing and then just prime into that one, more for like MMU style setups. So you have one model that's kind of weird and then one model that's good. But yeah, this is possible. Then also you have to make sure that you're priming enough, right? So let's look at this very, very tip of the ear. There's not a lot of filament there. And this has to be enough to, to accurately prime. If you have this little tiny tip that you're trying to print, it's not really going to work out well. So I've seen people take a model, like a functional model, and use that, like a building block type of system, and import that and prime into that. But remember that your prime tower is not going to be clean. Like it's a little bit messy because you have some blobs. It's not going to be perfect. So I like to definitely have a prime tower. It doesn't have to be much. Are you purging each layer? Priming, it's called priming on a tool changer. You're not purging anything. Are you purging on each layer or on swaps? I am building a tower, and if there is a color like the beginning layers where there's no swaps, it'll just print an empty layer. What you can do is enable no sparse layers right here, assuming that your tool is far enough, the tower is far enough away from the model it'll only print layers that are tool changes. Maybe. Looks like it's broken. But this should... White Tower is not printed layers with no tool changes. Yeah, it looks like that's broken right now. But it would make the tower smaller, but it doesn't really matter too much. Go up in the preview. Oh! Oh, yeah. Good point. Duh. I had it sliced all the way down. Like that. Slice. Like Orca Slicer, because you can be in the preview tab and make setting changes, some setting changes. There we go. Yeah, there we go. See, now it ignored this and only started drawing it until there's a layer change. Perfect, right? But now you gotta make sure that you're far enough away, you're not gonna have collisions, stuff like that, which not too hard to do, but now, here's the thing. I want to take this model and compare it to Bamboo. So, in order to print this model right here, we have only a 12-gram tower. Nice, only 12 grams, but 200 grams flushed. 200. This is a 70-gram model, and we're throwing away 200 grams of filament. That's a quarter of a spool in order to print this multicolor. Sorry, a fifth of a spool. So that is how much money? I give a $20 spool. That's $4 of filament thrown away. So they literally pooped. Night, Mad Cat. Now, it's rude, yes. Now, I'm going to argue something that's, I wouldn't say it's controversial. This is just my opinion. Sometimes my opinions are controversial. How many prints, how many, $4 of wastes would it add up to get a tool changer? Right? Let's say you only ever want to print like a couple of multicolor things occasionally. It's fine, you're spending the money on the model. So the cost of this mushroom, just the top of it, costs $6 on a Bamboo. And it costs $1.50 on a tool changer. Okay? That's a difference of like let's say $5. How many $5 prints does it take to, let's see. Night, Trace EV. Have a good night. You have a $4,000 tool changer. Let's even say a $3,000 tool changer from Prusa. Let's say it's on sale or you build it yourself. $3,000 tool changer minus let's say $600 it would cost you to buy an A1 combo. That's $2,400 more. Divide that by $5 extra per print of waste. That is 480 prints. It would take you 400, almost 500 prints that are full multicolor to equal out a Prusa XL. Yeah, let that sink in. So, as awesome as tool changes are, I think for a lot of people who only want to print some occasional stuff like maker chips, right? You want to print really cool multicolor things that are small like maker chips. The Bamboo is a fantastic option for that. Absolutely awesome. But if you're only printing stuff that's giant multicolor models in a lot of colors, it might make sense to go for a tool changer. Time for a tool changer is a lot faster? Yes, absolutely. Tool changers make more sense to me in a print-on-demand type of application, right? Like someone says, hey, I want this mushroom printed. If I can have it done in a day versus 2 days, the cost is negligible, not negligible. The cost is relevant, but the cost can be increased. Instead of a $10 mushroom, it's now a $15 mushroom plus extra time. Mushroom cap for your hat? No, it's like a mushroom. It's just a mushroom. It's just decoration. I'm actually going to be printing off a bunch of multicolor stuff as I build this printer to bring with me to 3D Printopia. And I love displaying James the Printer models. He does some cool stuff. Especially when designers actually make multicolor models ready to go. My favorite thing. Hey Aurora, how's it going? Going pretty good. Oh, it's getting late. It's getting late. We're gonna end this pretty soon. Sometimes I just have these random conversations at night. And why I like live streaming, because people ask questions and I can talk about it. And gives me some fuel for the future podcast I'm gonna start. Yeah, doing a podcast. By myself, a solo cast. I think that's what it's called. No guests, just me. And welcome, Maneka Man. Can't forget you. I should try putting one of those Batman masks. I don't know. My cat's pretty tolerant. I have an orange cat, so shares the same 2 brain cells with every other orange cat. Ginger would probably like it. Not like it, but tolerate it. So yeah, it'll be very interesting trying to explain tool changers. It's very simple. If you're a enthusiast, doesn't matter, right? Really doesn't matter. I love this project because, number one, Voron 2.4 is the most popular Voron ever. Number two, a lot of people have bigger 2.4s. So the majority of people have a 350, and then a 300, and then a 250. If people even have 250 2.4s. So this is the most popular Voron. Voron is the most popular open source printer as far as I'm aware. So this project is literally tailored the best possible position for the majority of custom 3D printer owners. Have a 400, 450, a 500. But you are just crazy. You're crazy. I'd love to have a big 2.4. Man, that'd be a dream. One of these days. It's on my list. 3D Printopia is going to be an awesome time. I can't wait. And hopefully everyone can attend or at least watch content. I might be able to stream. Eesh, I don't know. Welcome in, Andre and Tink Live. If you're just tuning in, we are printing on the freshly manually calibrated cell changer. I have 2 tools that I've calibrated with the little IDEX test. And we're doing a test print from James the Printer. Little mushroom. Because I didn't feel like changing filament. Now what I'd love to do in the future is I want some type of auto load unload system. So Mellow has something like that, but what I'm thinking of is more or less you keep, let's say, 5 main colors. You keep a black, white, black and white definitely, maybe, I don't know, gray, blue, red, I don't know, some like very, very generic colors. It's so hard to change out so many colors. But then, on 1 or 2 tools, you put a box turtle. So you load up the more difficult colors once, and then you just throw in, whatever colors you need for the print. As you're printing, the box turtle can do its thing. Load right to the tool head. That's what I want. I want very, very easy loading, plus more colors. All the colors. But keep the colors that you commonly use already loaded, and then just have some extras as needed. $400 is about the limited 24 volt. Yeah, I bet. For speed, that is. I mean, there's no limit. It's just for speed. Yeah, right. Zombie purple. I like my custom ambrosia purple. It's a good color. Got any material selection tips for a Death Racer? Order a couple spools of PA6CF. Yeah. Let's see. So this is running my original frame. So the you can't really see, but the black right here, the actual frame, that is some type of nylon. I think it's a PA, might be PA12 actually. But that chassis has seen many, I think 3 events getting demolished. Like truly and honestly just hammered. No issues. Now for the rest of it, I recommend ASA or ABS. It can be hard to print, but I haven't had any issues on any of the stuff that I printed. ABS is going to be a little bit more ductile than PLA, so it's going to be able to absorb some more damage. Plus, it's heat resistant. If it's outside and it's hot, that can be a factor. The motor mount area, you definitely want to have some type of ABS or something. Need the zombie head on it. I like the hedgehog. It's cute. I forget who made it to me. I like this too. Like the little hedgehog. When you take it off, it looks like it has legs. I let my kid play with this for a bit. Is this a Maker Viking hedgehog? Actually, it might be. Is it? I can't remember. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it is the Maker Viking hedgehog. So yeah, PA612 for the main frame. The wheels, TPU 95. Definitely TPU 95. Now I'd go for the high flow, just to make sure that it prints, faster, better. If you do use TPU 90 or less, you have to print it at 100% infill. You have to, or else it'll stretch. These tracks seem fine, like this, but they stretch when it's going, and they fall off, so you can't use them. Other than that, I don't know. You can potentially print the mainframe and TPU, but I'm going to argue against it because you want to inflict damage on your opponents, so you want the frame to be stiff. You want to be able to ram your opponents. I've had some issues with this frame breaking, but I've stiffened it up and I glued the whole thing as one piece, so this whole top section is one piece. All right, it's just one giant piece. Definitely glue your 2 halves together, glue them together, 100%. You want that. Carbon fiber makes parts more brittle. Yes, that's what I've noticed. But for the frame, it's more ductile, right? It's more like flexible, so it's weird, especially when it absorbs moisture. It actually becomes more flexible the more moisture absorbs. You have 2 of the kits on the way. Nice. Yeah, I'm excited. I think I'm getting a kit. I think so. But I won't need it until Rocky Mountain next year. So we have plenty of time. I was kind of hoping they would send out kits before Rocky Mountain. Like, we were talking about this for a long time, but they're very reasonably priced, and I appreciate the effort that's gone into them for sure. My Death Racer is a toy. There's no electronics in here. Like, I took everything out because I burnt up the motor. The replacement cost is $100 every time because you got to buy the motor and you got to buy the gearbox with shipping. It's just, ugh. It was too much for my specific setup, so I stopped. But Death Racers are really cool. I have a very specific technique that I use too. There's no point of putting a servo back here. Absolutely no point of having a servo. So this is a fixed bludger. It is fixed on here. And K2 Kevin helped me design, well, he did like all the design for the cool like jet engine with the flame. It looks so cool. I'll bring this. It's neat to just show off. But yeah, you just spin. To take out heads, you spin, right? Just do the spinning death spin. Especially now against the stupid Mechanim racers that are very overkill. I think and I hope those are going in their own class this year. There's no way that the Mechanim racers with the spinning, I guess you can have spinning blades in either, but a standard Death Racer like the Big Tree Tech kit should be a standard Death Racer, right? And then all of those Death Racers go against each other. It makes everything way more fair and way more enjoyable. I've had some conversations about that, but you know, it's all fun. Any links for kit? Big Tree Tech. They can BQ in chat? I don't know if that works. But BQ.equipment. But I think we're going to call it here. I'll give you one last Outlaw class. I mean, yeah, there's no rules. That's the issue. There you go. Mr. Wizix has it. Yep. And I don't know if it's a cutoff date, but if you order it, let's see. If you order it now, I think. All right, order deadline for ERF is September 18. Okay, so that's a great point. If you're looking to order one of these kits and get it picked up at ERF, which you should, then order it now. Good night, Kevin. I'm gonna find a braid target in a second here. I was just observing the Death Racers. Am I in any of these pictures? I should be in some of them. Oh, that was the first year. That's an awesome shot inside. Oh, yeah. Oh, they're fun. Fun stream. I'm glad you had fun. Yeah, we're gonna call it here. But it works. And the lines that you're seeing. Oh, Amish. I'll read on Amish then. If he's still here. Max safe acceleration, same as a typical, 2.4. Nothing different. I don't know what I'm using, but I use a max of like 7K accelerate. This is the 0.9 motors, so let's say 5K excel. Just very, very, conservative. With a 12 square corner velocity. Plenty fine. High quality, it's still fast. You don't need your tool going all over the place. It's like you're literally saving 10 minutes by printing, considerably faster. That's why I'm using Revo for this, because it's a very high quality system. I was gonna say one other thing. Oh, yeah. I was noticing some lines in the print. And this is something very important. If you're ever noticing issues in your print, look at the model. See this? The actual model is low poly. See? So it looks like it was exported in like Tinkercad or something. You know, you had the low poly. Because if you add a cylinder, I said if you add a cylinder, oh, it's in here. If you add a cylinder and you zoom in, you know, it's not low poly, it's high poly, right? There should be a setting that's in here that it's, instead of simplifying, it's add polygons, you know, higher resolution. So unfortunately, with a highly precise printer, you see all of those little, you see all the lines. It's like, you think that something's wrong there. All right, but that's it. I'll show you guys the result, assuming it finishes, assuming it finishes overnight. Let's go raid Amish Ace. Go say hello. It's been a little while. And I think all of us are sleeping anyway. Welcome, Too Fast. You're too slow. Raiding out. Wonder if a lighter tool head would help. Yeah, it probably does. If you go on my Discord, I'll share the input shaper graphs with you. They're reasonable. Not amazing, but reasonable. Boo! You can always watch the VOD if you wanted to. That's an option. We had a lot of fun today. We calibrated the tool changer, printing in multiple colors, talked about 3D Printopia, answered some awesome questions about like why tool changer versus Bamboo. So thank you guys all for tuning in so much. Thank you for the bits and subs. It does help out a lot, like I say. If you haven't started printing your maker chips, you better start. You got 2 weeks till 3D Printopia. 2 weeks better than nothing. You can still crank out at least 100. No problem, right? So, thank you again to Polymaker for supporting this channel and for the giveaways. Have a good night, good morning, good evening, and goodbye. And Liz is streaming in the morning. Go check her out. In the morning?